I'm a 27-year-old male, live with my mom, a 55-year-old female. We have a small guest house in the backyard that I've been using as my office mini apartment. I pay part of the bills. I renovated it with my own money, and it's basically my space.
So you're going to give him my space? Nah. Let him stay here. You want him to stay so bad? Let him stay right in here. I'll go out to the guest house.
I tell you what will assuredly make sure that he stays longer than a few weeks is by giving him his own guest house.
This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
Jay,
Yeah.
on Reddit, and I thought this was an interesting Am I a Jerk story, because not to saying that we have any personal attachment, but we know people who live with their parents and start to treat the house as if it's theirs.
Yeah.
So the title of this, Am I the Jerk, is Am I the Jerk for refusing to let my uncle stay in the guest house at my mom's place? Now, before reading the entire post, just from that title, what do you think?
I think, how is that any of your damn, like, how do you, that's your mama house. Okay. All right.
All right. So this is what the post says. So here's the situation. I'm a 27-year-old male, live with my mom, a 55-year-old female. We have a small guest house in the backyard that I've been using as my office mini apartment. I pay part of the bills. I renovated it with my own money, and it's basically my space. Recently, my uncle, my mom's brother, 58, male, lost his job and asked if he could crash at our place for a few weeks. My mom immediately offered him the guest house without even asking me. When I said no, she got angry and said, "His family, you should sacrifice a little." I told her I don't feel comfortable because my uncle has a history of drinking, being messy, and overstaying wherever he lives. I suggested he stay inside the main house instead, but she insisted he needs privacy, which basically means my space. Now, my mom is calling me selfish, and my uncle keeps guilt tripping me, saying, "You'll understand when you get older. Family helps family." So, Reddit, am I the jerk for not letting my uncle stay in the guest house, even though my mom offered it?
Okay. Because initially from the title, I was like, that's your mama's house. You don't get a say. But if this is a space that, one, he pays part of the bill, so he does get a say in what goes on in the house. But also, the space that they're talking about is a space that he renovated with his own money. So I don't think that she can offer it up without his consent. And the whole thing about the uncle needing privacy, no, you don't want him to stay in the main house. That's what it is. Because he has a history of drinking and being messy and overstaying his welcome, and you don't want him in the main house, so you're going to give him my space? Nah. Let him stay here. You want him to stay so bad? Let him stay right in here. I'll go out to the guest house. He could stay in here, and but no.
Okay.
I don't think that's fair for her to have offered it up without consulting. Is he a jerk for not letting him stay there? I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't know.
Well, you said no, and now you're saying you don't know?
Well, I think he offered a good compromise of, like, let him stay in the main house. Yeah, he could stay. I don't want him to overstay his welcome in my little office apartment that I made, because I used that space. Like, if he was really going to be there for just a few weeks till he got back on his feet and then he's gone, then that's one thing. But this person already knows their uncle overstays his welcome. So now I'm out my office / little mini apartment because you actually don't want him to stay in the main house. He don't need no damn privacy. What privacy he need? He ain't got nothing going on.
I tell you what will assuredly make sure that he stays longer than a few weeks is by giving him his own guest house.
Thank you.
But okay, let's put each other in this scenario, right?
Okay.
Let's say that I'm running on hard times. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running on hard times. And you got your house and you got your son that's living at the house. He's paying part
Mm-hmm.
of the bills, but he didn't specify what bills he's paying. Right?
Right.
So we don't know how much he's really contributing, but let's just say he pays the utilities
Okay.
and the house is already paid for. So he pays the utilities. Maybe he don't pay the personal property tax. Maybe he don't pay the cable, things like that, but he pays part of the bills. And he
Yeah.
did renovate an already standing guest house. He didn't build the guest house. He renovated it. He renovated it because he wanted to use that space as his
Yes.
own office and mini apartment.
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, Jay, ran on hard times. Need to move in for a couple of weeks till I get on my feet. And I
Mm-hmm.
got a history of a couple of weeks turn into a couple of months. I'm messy.
Right.
I
Mhm.
destroy your place. I don't put
Mhm.
things back to where they are. I don't clean up
Mhm.
after myself. I'm drinking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What is your response?
I can find you a real nice Airbnb.
So do you
Because you're not
blame?
coming to mess. You're not coming to mess up my main house or my guest house. You need a few weeks. I'm gonna pay for a few weeks of you going to this Airbnb,
Mm-hmm.
and I will take care of that bill for you. And you can go ahead. And I'm only paying for 6 weeks, so I hope you get it together in them 6 weeks. That's another way to ensure they don't overstay their welcome. Because I'm paying for 6 weeks of this Airbnb, and that's it.
So do I think he's being a jerk? Kind of a little bit.
Maybe.
Because I'm thinking, it is family. And you know your
So,
uncle. And you know your uncle because you know him well enough to know that he'd be drinking and be causing a mess. And
yes.
this idea that you help out in somebody else's household somehow, some way by building something or putting stuff together or even paying a few bills that entitles you to be able to tell somebody what they can do with a place that they bought, that is their
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
That's
I
where I
still
think that you're a
feel
little bit
like,
of a jerk.
yeah, I definitely feel like it was a conversation. I don't think either one of them were right. I feel like that was a conversation you need to, because I mean, take them being your son out of it. This is a tenant. They pay you to be here. They are entitled to have an opinion about who comes and goes and where.
But
Like,
where are they entitled? To the house or the entire premises? That would include the guest house.
I mean, I don't know. That's a conversation they need to
Yeah.
have. Like, they needed to have had a conversation before. If she had just offered a room in the main house, I could see him, yeah, you're going to kind of be the asshole of it. But to offer up the space that you know I use as my office / mini apartment that I worked really hard to build out, you gave me permission to build it out, and I am a tenant here. You should have asked me first. And I think if she had come to him and asked him first, he might have had a different reaction than to just say, your uncle's coming, he's going to be staying in your little apartment.
Or not.
Or not. But I mean,
Yeah,
it should have been a conversation
It
to
should
begin
have,
with.
yeah.
Yeah, it should have been a conversation to begin with, and they should have found some sort of compromise. Because I feel like there's a compromise there. And the compromise is he stays in a room in the main house. And if he starts to get on your nerves, then good. That lets you know it's time for him to go.
Yeah.
That ain't that damn hard.
Yeah. It's clear that the mom only sees him as a son
Mm-hmm.
because she's definitely treating him as a son.
Yeah.
And they're not seeing him for an adult
Yes.
because if she did, she would be like, hey, look, your Uncle Roger is going through it.
Yeah.
And Roger need a place to stay. Now, he done asked me, where can he stay? Now, we know your Uncle Roger, but it's also
Yeah.
family. So what do you
Right.
think about all this? And he was like, you can stay in the house, but he ain't staying in my guest house. Well, now, We kind of don't want him in the house with us because, he'd be drinking and causing a mess. Well, I don't really want him in the place that I done built out as my own because he's
Right.
drinking and causing a mess. Well, it's family.
And
If it's
and the
family, let him stay
more
in the house.
and the more comfortable you make him, the longer he's gonna stay.
Yep. Or
You gotta
sometimes people just, even if you put them in an uncomfortable situation, like, hey, this is better than what I was having before. So I'm still comfortable.
right. Yeah, it's like I'm not homeless,
Yeah.
But like, no. I don't know. I think this should have been a conversation that they both had. Do I think he's an asshole or a jerk? A little bit. A
Little
little
bit.
bit. It feels
Everybody's
like you dug in on this because you weren't consulted in the first place. And that's a conversation also you need to have with your mom of like, hey, I understand that I'm your child and I'm living here, but I pay to live here. I'm a tenant. And that entitles me to certain rights as your tenant.
Yeah. She got to treat him like an adult. And
Yeah.
and he's being a little petty because
He's being petty.
because I know he was like, how you just going to do this without even talking to me first? I know
Right.
because that's how I would be. And then I'd be like, no, he ain't staying in my space. He can stay in the house. So everybody, even the
Yeah.
uncle is being a jerk.
Even the uncle.
Everybody's
Right.
being a jerk because the uncle
Right.
is guilt tripping him. And I'm like, man, you just need a
Yeah.
place to stay. You need to shut your mouth.
Yeah. Any place that you're offered
Right. You better
is
take what you
gonna
can
be
get.
better than the nothing that you got right now. So be quiet and let us work this out. You gonna have some place to stay, but let us work out where. And you mind your business.
So Redditor, everybody is a jerk in that situation. And y'all all need to have a conversation in the come to Jesus moment. And you know what? Honestly, if your mom is going to respond this way, you have a conversation, if she's going to treat you this way, probably time to get your own place.
Yep.
Might be the move to make.
Might be.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.